Not only am I wrapping up the week, but in this video, I'm also wrapping up the first month of 2022. That's right, folks, we're now 1/12 of the way through the year, and at least one of these topics was not something I saw in my crystal ball. Because apparently, nothing says modern times like a gaming Chromebook. But why? Intel shares its predictions on when we could see some relief on the chip shortage situation, but the chip shortage didn't stop Nvidia from launching the GeForce RTX 3050 this week, and it's also time for another update on the Valve Steam Deck. Some good, some bad, some goofy, but either way, I'm ready to dig into the details, so let's go. Chromebooks have found themselves in more homes than ever over the past 2 years, so it just makes sense that Google would love for their devices to become more than just enough. So why not make a splash into the gaming scene? I mean, you just need RGB, am I right? Well, in the article linked in the description, PC World's own Michael Kreider breaks down a report from 9to5Google regarding a feature flag in the Chromium code repository. Controls for RGB keyboards. Okay, that alone doesn't mean that Google is taking a stand in the gaming scene, but that paired with other recent moves like Valve working on a version of Steam for Chromebooks, Google's drive for Android's Play Store, not to mention the likes of GeForce Now and Xbox game streaming, there are more reasons than ever for Google to attempt what could be one of the weirdest gaming laptops on the market. And according to Michael's article, 9to5 is also claiming that HP and Lenovo are prepping their own gaming laptops in the Omen and Legion line, so maybe there's some teeth to this after all. But what would a gaming Chromebook would even look like in the wild would be quite interesting because, as Michael points out, it takes more than a fancy keyboard to stand apart from the crowd. Now on about those chip shortages, right? Look, I know no one really likes to hear about it, but we can't stick our heads in the sand and pretend like it's going to be better in the morning. So, there's value in hearing what industry experts have to say on the matter. Intel's chief executive, Pat Gelsinger, recently, in an interview that PC World's Mark Hawkman reported on, stated that we can expect the chip shortages to keep being the norm throughout the rest of this year and on into 2023. In that report, he went on to mention how other markets, like the automotive market, which has been nearly devastated at times, and have been recently impacted as well by the supply chain crunch. And it's not just the chips themselves that are in short supply, it's the entirety of the build. Remember, the CPU die, or the chip, is only one component. We still have to think about the substrates and even the extra silica that goes on. And again, I know no one wants to hear news like this, but it's very important that we have a realistic look at the world and all that it encompasses and impacts our beloved hobby and lifestyle. But those chip shortages aren't stopping GPU companies from launching new graphics cards, is it? Last week we got the Radeon RX 6500 XT, and this week the launch of the GeForce RTX 3050, I think. I mean, reviews went live, the new X Shuffle spun up, but availability looked like all other launches lately, except for the RX 6500 XT, which is still in stock in many places. Unlike the RX 6500 XT, the RTX 3050 was pretty desirable by many thanks to its 8GB frame buffer and full support for the RTX suite of technologies. Sure, it supports ray tracing, but the money maker for this card right now, and in the future, in my opinion, will be the DLSS support. Head honcho Brad Charkis gave the EVGA XC Black version a 4 out of 5 star rating thanks to the card's ability to deliver great 1080p gaming experience with all of the modern features you've come to expect. It also doesn't feature unusual technical compromises like the RX 6500 XT did, which might make the RTX 3050 more attractive to gamers, but also miners alike. Now on the negative side, we can't leave out that it's now $100 more than last generation's 50 class card, nor the mining-friendly configuration could lead to inventory issues and inflated prices. One last quick bit on the way to the end is certainly some positive news. The shipping date of the Valve Steam Deck is quickly approaching, and we're not seeing any signs of any more delays. On February 25th, Valve will be shooting out the first batch of emails to reservation holders who will have 72 hours to respond to finalize their order. After that's done, the first units will begin shipping on the 28th. This will be done in the order of the initial reservation and will be going out on a weekly cadence to keep the flow to consumers smooth and consistent. I can imagine that it's also so that the company will be able to retain some inventory for the inevitable RMA issues that will arise at some point. It's a numbers game, folks. Not all units can be perfect. Well, that's a wrap on the last week of the first month of 2022. Apparently Chromebooks are ready to get their game on with fancy RGB keyboards and hopefully more if this is really where things are headed. Pat Gelsinger from Intel foresees the chip shortages to continue on for quite a bit longer still, unfortunately. And I'm going to hope he's wrong, although he likely isn't. The GeForce RTX 3050 was well received by reviewers. Potential customers seem to want it, except the delivery docs seem to be pretty bare, and here's hoping that improves soon. And Valve is still on schedule with less than a month to go for the Steam Deck to be shipping out to Adam and myself, and whoever else ordered one. I hope you get yours too, or you forget to respond to the email, and Adam and I get moved closer up in the line. On second thought, maybe I should have withheld reporting this. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed this week's roundup, and if you did, let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. If I missed anything you felt was more important, please share that with me and the rest of the audience down in the comments section. But don't forget to make sure you're subscribed here at PC World for even more PC hardware and software goodness.